Thank you. Okay, the mic is working. Dzień dobry wszystkim. I hope I said it correctly. So, I'm coming from Macedonia and I'm really glad to be here. Today, as Paul mentioned, I will speak about success. But before I start, I'd like to ask who feels themselves successful here? Because I need to understand if there is actually a need for me to be at this stage and to speak about success. And also, I'm a product person, and as a product person, I'm always trying to identify if there is a problem or a need that I could solve with my product. So please raise a hand, everybody who is feeling successful. Good to hear that. That's why I'm here. Great. I can see some of you are doubting if you should raise your hand. Some of you already feel successful, though, so that's good. But I'll definitely stay on this stage because maybe I can give you some tips to be even more successful, as you mentioned. And for those of you who don't feel very successful, hopefully you will hear something today that will give you motivation, inspiration to become successful. So first, let's start. Let's see what it means to be successful. When someone mentions success, I think that the first thought that we're thinking is that someone that has a lot of money probably is a very successful man, right? So that will be our first image that will come on our mind. But what about someone who has reached the top of the highest mountain? He has achieved a big accomplishment. So can we say he was successful? Also, what about a person who has bought a house at the beach? I would definitely say yes to this, because it's my dream, definitely. But would we consider it successful, someone who has a house at the beach? Also, we can mention here the popular singers that are filling concert halls. We can mention the famous actors and actresses who are winning Oscars. But we can also mention some very simple people who just have their loving and caring family around them, and they are pretty confident that they are successful, right? So when we speak about success, you can see, if we are looking at all of these people, that we cannot say that success is a very simple thing. If you have achievements, it doesn't mean that you are successful by default. People are having a lot of achievements, but sometimes they're not feeling successful. And that is because success is actually a deeply personalized concept. So then, how do we know if we are successful? The formula is pretty simple. If we are living our personal values, then if we are fulfilling our aspirations, what we are hoping to achieve, and if we are living our desired lifestyle, then probably we can say that we are successful. So the achievements is one part, but the most important part, or the part that really matters here, is actually this. For us to be successful, we need to live our personal values, to live our desired lifestyle, and also to fulfill our aspirations. If you're not sure, where are you with this? Or for those of you who weren't sure, if you need to raise your hand when I've asked the question if you feel successful, we'll do a quick exercise. I'll first explain the concept of the exercise. It won't take us too much. So the first thing would be to close your eyes. So it will be kind of meditation, but it will be a short one because we don't have much time. Then you'll need to visualize yourself in a certain setting. I will explain how you need to visualize yourself. Afterwards, you will imagine a scene. Also, I will describe the scene. And at the end, I will ask you to take notes on your phones, because I assume that you don't have here like paper and pen. So you'll need just to write down 2 or 3 things that will come up as a result of the exercise. So can we do it? Let's give it a try. Close your eyes, please. Make yourself comfortable in your seat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now visualize yourself how you are standing at your lovely home or some nice restaurant that you've been previously or in some other setting that you feel that you are very comfortable with. And you can feel that you're expecting some guest that needs to come. Give you a second just to visualize yourself. Now imagine how your closest friends and family are starting to appear at the door, and they're all very happy about you. They're congratulating you, they have big smiles on their face, they're telling their extreme gratitude for something that you have achieved, for something that you have done recently. You can hear how they are mentioning how proud are they of you. You can feel how happy are about you. So this is your celebration. Everyone is celebrating you. They are raising their glasses. They are mentioning your name. So if you're okay with this thing, now just think about one thing. Why would your closest friends and family celebrate you? What is that thing, that accomplishment that you have done or achieved that your closest people are actually telling you how proud they are, how happy they are about you? Is it maybe some promotion that you've got? Maybe you've started your own business. Maybe you're a really proud mother now, or whatever you think that it would be your achievement. Now, if you're okay, if you already came to the results, you can open your eyes and take some notes on your phone. What are those things that you think that your closest friends and family would celebrate you for? So why we did this exercise? It was a very quick exercise, but if you're really interested to do this, you can do it again when you are at home maybe, or when you're more peaceful, more relaxed than now. The point of this exercise is actually to discover your personal values, to discover your strengths and your subconscious desires. Because deep inside, we all know how we feel about certain things and what are the things that are really important for us and what we want to achieve in life. So if you have time, do this exercise again at home and try to reflect on your subconscious desires and what brings you the biggest passion in your life. So now let's continue with the part where we actually speak about how you can be more successful. Once you know your personal values, once you are aware of your subconscious desires, then the next thing is to start taking steps towards being successful. So if someone asks me, what can I do to be successful? But please give me a simple answer. Try to sum it up in 3 words. Then I would say, start taking decisions. Why start taking decisions? Because we are all used to live in our comfort zone. And it's very hard to start making decisions to move out from our comfort zone and to start going toward success. Because the comfort zone gives us security. We feel good when we are in our comfort zone. We are good in what we know. We are good in what we are doing currently. But to be more successful, then we need to step out of our comfort zone. So the first step that you need to do is to make a decision about where you are going. Think about our mind as we are a navigation application. For example, Google Maps. If we don't enter the final destination, it won't give us the directions. We won't know how to get there. So for example, if you think, I want to be successful in a few years, I want to be very successful and very rich. That is like to give direction, to give the final destination to Google Maps, take me to some nice place. So you need to first make a decision to know where you're going. And you can do that by setting up a long-term goal. My advice would be to start with a 3-year goal. Why? Because it won't limit you in your capacity, because when you are starting with a small goal, it's okay, but we can stay to that small goal, and afterwards, we might not progress even further. But when we are thinking of a time period of 3 years, that give us space to dream big and to set a bigger goal. But once you decide your main goal, your long-term goal, please be mindful not to set it up just as a job position. Yeah, we're speaking here about careers, we are speaking about how we can progress with our careers, but what if I say I would like to be a head of product in 3 years? Will I be successful? Will I be happy and fulfilled if I'm head of product, but my life is falling apart? Probably not. So when you're defining that long-term goal, please have in mind what I've mentioned previously. Your desired lifestyle, your personal values, your aspirations. So be more specific. Define what you want to achieve, but also how you would like your life to look like in 3 years from now. Maybe you want to be a mother of 3 kids. Maybe you want to be to earn a certain amount, to be at some specific position, but also to have a work-life balance. Also to have time for your passion, for your free activities. So when you're defining your long-term goal, please have in mind all those things. And once you define your main goal, you need to necessarily divide it into smaller, shorter goals. That means if we have like a big dream that we want to achieve in 3 years from now, it's better to have steps that will serve as a checkpoints or as milestones on our roadmap, so we can be sure that we are actually achieving our main goal in 3 years. So if we're speaking about being successful on purpose, I would say the first phase is all about making a strategic decision. That's why the title of the presentation is Being Successful but on Purpose. So you need to decide strategically where you want to be and to start defining the steps how you will get there. The next thing that you would need to make a decision about is to identify your gaps or your weaknesses and to decide how you can overcome them. Why I'm telling this? Because when we want to achieve something, to make some accomplishment, we need to step out of our comfort zone or to do something that we haven't done so far. And when we are at that position, it feels like we are trapped in a maze. We know where we are, we know where we want to go, we know what is our main goal, but we are not sure which path will serve us to take us to the final destination, to our main goal. So how you can choose the best path? The first thing is to build self-awareness. You need to be very well aware of what are your weaknesses. I know it's hard to admit because we all want to brag about what we are good about, right? We want to say that, yeah, I have great communication skills. I'm really good in marketing. I'm really good with products. But it's very hard to admit, yeah, I don't have technical knowledge. I'm lacking communication skills. I'm lacking negotiation skills. So the first step towards success, it needs to be to build a great self-awareness, to admit to yourself what are the things that you are missing, what are the skills that you have a gap for. Once you know those gaps, the next thing would be to focus on learning. Try to improve or to develop the skills that you're missing, and the only way is through gaining knowledge. There are a ton of resources on the internet, so whatever we decide that we can be only by learning. But learning is not enough, because we can go through all the courses in the internet, we can take some academies, or I don't know, some other materials that are useful, but if we don't start practicing, we will never be sure that we have actually gained the skill that we need. So next thing would be practicing, doing assignments with the skill that you've developed and doing more of that. After some time, after you start practicing, now you will have the theoretical knowledge, you will have assignments where you can feel that you're progressing, that you're better at what you're doing, but you must ask for feedback. Try to ask your colleagues, try to ask your friends, join some communities where you can ask for feedback, where you'll do actually something that you were afraid to do it previously, but now once you started gaining knowledge, once you started practicing, you feel that you can do it. After the feedback, probably you will learn that it's not that easy, what you have just learned, and you will need to learn a bit more. So that is like the advanced level of learning. And afterwards, the next step would be to volunteer. So for example, if I want to be a head of product, that means I need to be a product leader in my company. I need to define the strategy of my company, what we'll do with the products of our company, how I'll lead the product managers. So maybe I'm still not there, but I can imagine, or I can start trying what I will do if I'm there. So maybe I can ask my line manager to ask, okay, please give me a chance to volunteer in some project. I can organize some meeting with the product managers. I can do a workshop with the product managers. We can do a workshop for providing the strategy of the company. Although I won't be head of product at that point, I will volunteer to do something just to confirm that I really gained those abilities or those skills that I was missing. And once you do all of these things, afterwards, you'll arrive at the final destination, which I call it self-confidence. Because just learning and practicing is not enough. When we want to step out of our comfort zone, we need to be confident that we are good at. What we were missing previously, now we feel confident and we know that we can do it. So the next thing would be just to have some opportunity to actually do it. So the second phase from being successful on purpose is to invest in yourself. Invest time and effort, maybe some money also, right? To pay for some courses or for some workshops, for some trainings. But think like that you're investing in yourself so we can gain more benefits from it. Once you invest in yourself, once you identify your gaps and overcome them, you'll be set up for success. The third one is to make a decision not to give up along the way. As I said, it sounds pretty simple. Yeah, I won't give up. I'm very determined. I really want to be director, manager, head of product, or whatever. But the thing is that in real life, it's not like that. Once challenges start appearing, we are all losing our confidence that we are good in what we have learned. We're becoming demotivated, and we are questioning whether we are really good for our main goal or for our success point. So on this topic, I'll share a personal story that only a very few people know it, but it's a great example of how many obstacles and challenges you can face even when you achieve that success point. So I started my career at 19, and almost after 10 years of working, I've decided to make a career switch. So from the commercial world, I've decided to go to the IT industry and to start working as a product owner. So I did all of the previous steps, like I've explained you, in the maze. So I took a lot of courses, I did a lot of assignments, I volunteered, I was asking for feedback and so on. So finally, after less than a year, I've landed my first product owner job. I was so happy that I was living my dream. Now I finally have the job position. It was that highest point in my success road. But the first day when I came to the office, the colleague that was supposed to support me the most told me, I don't know why you're here, because we really don't need a product owner. We're just fine. So that was my first welcome message. It didn't sound nice, but I was like, okay, maybe he's just like that. But afterwards, day after day, I found out that I'm actually working in a very toxic environment where the technical lead, together with the team, were convinced that I'm there not to help them to build a product, but to ruin their everyday work, to complain about them, and all those things. Although I was trying to prove that I'm here to help, that we have all the same goal, to build that product. But from day to day, the atmosphere was really not on the level that it was supposed to be. So every day I was going at work, but I wasn't feeling very nice about my work, although I was so happy that I'm working as a product owner. So I've kept trying to prove that we are here as a team, that we need to build our product, and that we are all together in this. But again, the environment was very toxic, and I wasn't very well understood. So one day, in between all those hard days, I found out that I'm actually pregnant with my second child. So on one hand, I was a bit worried that now I will lose my chance to prove that I'm a good product owner. But on the other hand, I was very happy because I thought, thank you, God, now I will be saved from this misery, from this toxic environment, and I will finally have some rest. But the destiny had another plan. After 3 months, when I went to the first medical check, I found out that the heartbeat of my baby had stopped, and I've actually lost my baby. So that's the moment when you feel like your world is all ruined. Beside the everyday struggles that I had at work, although, as I said, I was living my dream, I was working as a product owner, which was my dream at that point, and I should have felt successful. I had now this. I've lost my baby, and I was broken. I didn't know what to do, and I started blaming myself for putting so hard to move from my comfort zone and to go for this role. I started thinking, is it really worth it? Maybe if I stayed in the previous company where I was well respected and I was doing really fine there, maybe it was going to be better for me. Maybe I'm just too ambitious. So it was a hard day, I would say. But the next morning, when I got up with a clear mind, I've started asking myself, do I really want this? How bad I want to be a product owner? Is it worth it to try to convince everyone that I can be a good product owner? To all the questions I've said yes. So that's how I've decided that nothing will break me. That I believe in my capabilities, that I have the skills that I need to be a good product owner, and that I'll prove to everyone that I can be a really good product owner. So that's my story, how I've outgrown all my obstacles and have proven that I can be a good product owner. The product was very successful afterwards. The team started believing me. So everything paid off after a year or so. But it was a tough year, definitely. So when you face challenges, I'll give you these advices. Look at things diagnostically. Don't go in that deep space where you will think how things are bad now, how you're struggling, and so on. Just ask yourself, is this what I really want? It's very important to see if you still feel that the main goal that you have set up is still valid for you. So ask yourself, is this still what I want? Why? Because it will help you to keep your focus. When we have our focus, we know where we are going, it's much easier to fight with all the obstacles and challenges that are coming our way. The next thing, question yourself, what am I learning from this? Look at every challenge, at every failure that you are facing. Look as a lesson. What I'm learning for this? Because the world, it's not made to be perfect. We cannot have our everyday to be perfect, not to fight with any challenges, not to fight with tough colleagues, with tough characters. It's never in any company I have been, I know that there are no such things. So you'll always face some kind of challenges, that I'm sure. But try to learn from your challenges and from your failures. The third thing, what can I do better? Always try to focus what you can do better. Okay, today I was writing my user stories. I've noticed that I'm not good in that. So how can I improve myself? Or today I've had a tough conversation with some of my colleagues. I didn't like how I responded to that. Okay, it happened, what it happened. Now, what can I do to be better next time? To have easier conversations, to be a better manager or whatever. That will help you to, or will remind you that we are here to continuously learning. If we are not continuously learning, we'll be very behind every other man or woman because the world is made like that. It's so dynamic, so we need to keep learning. And the last question when you're struggling or when you have challenges is, who can help me with this? Don't try to fight all the fights that you'll be facing all alone. Try to find out who can help you with that. Sometimes it will be a friend, sometimes it will be a colleague, sometimes it will be your line manager, but ask for help. When you're honest, when you ask for help, there will be always someone who can help you with the struggle you have. When you find people that can help you, that is actually helping you to build your support network. And when we know that someone has our back and it's supporting us, it's much easier to face all the challenges. So the third phase in being successful on purpose is to develop a resilient mindset. That is the mindset that you need to have if you want to be successful, if you want to achieve great things, to have the life you wanted from when you were a little kid. When you develop a resilient mindset, you will see at every challenge and every obstacle as a lesson and as a chance to just stood up and be even better than you were previously. The final decision that I would say is to make a decision to tell people about your dreams. I don't know if you've seen it, but there is like a quote that is spreading on the internet. It says, "Don't tell people your dreams, show them." But I must say I don't agree with that. Why? We were taught like that, like be selfish, stay quiet, don't tell about your big dreams. But the time has changed. I believe that if we start talking about dreams, we'll find out more about the people or the opportunities that can help us upgrade and come to the point where we will feel successful. So, my advice is to find your people. Who will be your people? The people that share similar interests with you. They might be people from your area, maybe marketing, maybe product, maybe technology, whatever it is. Maybe you're just thinking about creating your own business. So even that, then you'll need to find people who have similar experiences because you'll learn a lot from them. Where you can find these people, first, you can participate in communities, in different groups, start following people that are sharing their interests that are very similar to yours. Then attend networking events and workshops. This is a great chance to meet new people, to hear new things, to learn something, but also to hear a lot of experience about people who've been successful. So it's a great opportunity to find someone that can maybe tell you something that you haven't heard before. The third one is find your role models and don't be afraid to reach out to them. When I was doing my career switch from the commercial industry to product owner, I started following a lot of people from the product world, people who are working in Agile environments. I started reading their posts, their articles, just to be better informed. But also, I started reaching out to them, just to ask them, like, I really like what you're saying. I'm at the beginning of my career. What would be your advice to me? Some of the people might ignore you. Maybe they didn't have time to respond, maybe they didn't want to respond, it doesn't matter. But you'll always find someone that will be really willing to help you. And the last thing is to seek mentors or coaches. Mentors or coaches are very important because when you will be facing those challenges that I've mentioned before, they will provide you the tools and the methods how to overcome those challenges. And also, if you're not sure what you really want or how your success looks like, they will help you to understand and define your long-term goal based on what you consider that is success. So the final phase of being successful on purpose, is to build meaningful relationships. Once we start reaching out to people, once we start asking for advice, for mentorship, for coaching, we'll start getting feedback, but it's good also to hear feedback, because the feedback is, we'll start also to provide feedback, because the feedback is good to build a relationship where we are having confidence in that relationship and where we know that people are supporting us. So once you do all these steps, making a strategic decision to know where you're going, then investing in yourself to upgrade your knowledge, to become better than you are at this moment, then to prepare for all the challenges that are coming or to develop a resilient mindset. And once you build meaningful relationship, opportunities will start to appear. You'll be invited for maybe some interviews, maybe you'll be invited to volunteer in a project where you'll be able to show your capabilities, and that's how you'll progress towards your success spot. For the end of this presentation, I'll tell you just one thing. Success is not something that you're achieving once. You don't need to think of success like, I need to be a director or I need to have millions to be successful. Think of it like a lifelong journey where you need to rediscover yourself and increase your growth over time. It's not something that we're achieving once, but it's actually a lifelong journey. So my advice would be, enjoy the journey. Don't rush to be successful. There will be plenty of time to actually celebrate the successes or to reach out to successes, but the most important is to enjoy through the whole journey. So thank you for your attention.